Hey guys, it's Nate here from Closet Nerds, and today I'm going to be reviewing Gotham Episode 3. Sorry that it took so long putting this video up, but it's been a really crazy week, and especially with Arrow and Flash all coming out this week, we had a lot going on. So anyway, without further ado, here we go. So, Penguin. We saw him come back to Gotham. We see that he comes back, there's crime everywhere, we see purse snatchers, prostitutes, murderers, everything going around, and he gets off the bus back in Gotham and goes, home, home, It was really, really cool and super climactic, like, oh, this is going to be awesome. And then the rest of the episode was pretty lame, to be perfectly honest. It did not live up to how awesome that first moment of Penguin coming back to Gotham and being like, I'm home, I'm going to take it all. So we see he's going to be going for a power strike, but the rest of the episode was kind of meh. So that's how it goes. The next thing we learn is that Penguin's back in town. And as I already said, I talked about that. And it is a big deal, so I'm trying to make sure that people know this is big. Penguin's back. But anyway, so on to the other characters. We see Fish. She's back to her old tricks. Obviously, she's all mad and wants to get back at Falcone and take over his territory. So, I mean, she talked to Gordon and gave the police some information, but nothing really super happened in this episode involving her. She's kind of just there. She made some threats and stuff, but we didn't really see anything happen from her. Another huge aspect that we saw in this episode was Selina Kyle. Now, obviously, at the end of the last episode, we saw her being like, I know who killed the Waynes. So, obviously, Gordon's interested, and he's investigating it, but he really didn't believe her. So, she ended up, tricking him to go down in the sewer, and because she dropped this wallet down there to prove that she was at the place where the Waynes get murdered. And Gordon saw that she was telling the truth, but by that time, he had kind of handcuffed her. And so she was mad, so she picked the lock and then escaped. So we didn't really get to find out who that was. So we still don't know who the Wayne killer is. Catwoman's on the loose again. So yeah, once again, not a whole lot actually ended up happening with that. So once again, we're going to talk about Penguin. He got a job as a dishwasher at a local restaurant, just trying to make money and all that jazz. But it turns out it's for Sal Maroni, who is a mob boss. So he's actually getting a front row seat to half the dirty business in Gotham. So now he has an access to all of this stuff to start his crime empire. So we're really, really seeing Penguin become Penguin. Alright, now to the villain of this episode. So everyone who saw the preview and all you who watched my last video, we all were expecting Professor Pig because we had the guy named Laszlo, we had a guy walking around in a pig mask killing people, oh, it's Professor Pig. No. It's the Balloonman. No, he's not a real comic villain. He was made up by Gotham, the TV show. So, okay, that's fine. I don't mind them making their own villains, but make a cool one. The Balloonman really wasn't that cool. So his whole premise was that he was kind of like the vigilante Batman type. So part of it was they're bringing vigilantes in and giving a nod to Batman, which I got, and that was kind of cool. But he would strap these people to weather balloons, these bad corrupt cops or politicians, and they'd go soaring up into the air woo, and then they'd fall. And one guy even fell and killed a bystander. So this guy who's trying to do good obviously wasn't. And then once we even found out who he was, we didn't get to relate to the character at all. He was just some guy. It wasn't relatable, and I just really did not like the character at all. So yeah, he was just really disappointing for me. I'm sorry, I didn't like him. So apparently in this episode we find out that Detective Montoya and Barbara Gordon had a relationship together before Barbara started dating Jim. So that was just really awkward, to be honest. Montoya had been mentioned that she was a lesbian in the comics and whatever, but it felt like they were just trying to throw that in there for some extra spice or shock value or something. But it came off more just oh, this is really awkward and why are they doing this? It just made it really weird. And then there's tension between Jim and Barbara, and it just didn't really add much to the story, at least in a positive manner. Just kind of what? But what did come out of that was helpful to the story was that Montoya got around to telling Barbara that, oh, well, Jim killed Oswald Cobblepot, aka Penguin, so he's a murderer, you shouldn't be with him, blah, 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 blah. So it's really like she was trying to get her to leave Gordon and come back to her. But the thing that we got out of that was now Barbara knows that Jim is suspected of killing Penguin. Even though we know Jim didn't do it, everyone kind of thinks he did. So that could be some real problems for Gordon and Barbara. And now to the one bright spot in this episode, at least for me, and that was Bruce Wayne. He, yet again, is one of my favorites in the episode. Greatly cast little guy, great actor. And yet again, we see him preparing to be Batman. He's fencing with Alfred. He's looking over these crime photos, like becoming the world's greatest detective, you know. And he even makes a comment about the Balloonman, who's the vigilante who's killing people, that, you know what, he's not really a hero because heroes don't kill people. So he's even getting that Batman mentality that he's so famous for. So it's really cool to see him develop into Batman. We got some more really good dialogue between Jim and Wayne, and it was just really cool. I loved it. Love Batman. Love Bruce Wayne. Love this actor. And at the end of the episode, Gordon and Bullock went and caught the Balloonman. It's kind of just like one of those wrap-ups where they had just a filler episode and they just caught the guy. So he's gone now, and whatever. That's, from my opinion, the less we see of the Balloonman, the better. And I mean, maybe you guys really liked him. If you did, put it in the comments. Tell me why you thought he was awesome. But I personally was not a huge fan. But yeah, that's the end of the Balloonman for now, and hopefully we really won't see him anytime soon. Alright, so now we're going to go on to the spoilers. Now, the first thing that we saw was the TV station that appears on Arrow, and it appeared in Gotham. So now the whole internet's calling for, oh my gosh, they're going to do crossovers, this is going to be amazing. Now, while that would be fantastic, in my opinion, I don't think we're going to see an Arrow Gotham crossover anytime in the near future. Maybe if both those shows go for a really long time, we might see something, but it's going to be a while, in my opinion. The next big thing is that we recently got word that Gotham has cast somebody as Harvey Dent. So now we have Harvey Dent in there, and in this episode 3 of The Balloonman, we met a Sal Maroni. For you comic nerds, you know that we're going to be getting ready for Two-Face. So we probably will see a Two-Face appearance somewhere in the Gotham universe, and I'm really, really excited about that. During the Balloonman murders, there were some loose references to Guy Lamont killing a guy named Cranston and such and such. And if you know from the comics, Lamont Cranston is the Shadow. So a bunch of people are all like, oh, that's a foreshadowing for the Shadow. Yeah, no pun intended there. But I really don't think it's foreshadowing. I think it's more just a nod to the character, like, hey, look, we're going to make a little reference to the Shadow there. So I think that's all that was, but maybe we'll see him come around. I don't know, but that is a little Easter egg that was thrown in there. Now, there was a reference to a guy named Quinn. Now, he was supposed to be abusive to children and such, and that could be a really big reference to Harley Quinn. We already had the first episode with the dancers that really resembled Harley Quinn, and now we have a reference to a Quinn. Even though it was just briefly in passing, it was a really big reference. And we might be seeing Harley Quinn sometime in the future, and I really hope we do, because she is crazy awesome. The last Easter egg I'm going to mention might not count as an Easter egg, but I'm going to count it as one. It was at the very end of the episode where Oswald Cobblepot showed up on Gordon's door. Now, he was in his full tux, he had the limp, he had the suit, you know, it was the Penguin. Like, it looked just like the Penguin. So that was really crazy, a really good way to end the episode. And that was probably the best part of the episode, in my opinion. But nonetheless, we have an official Penguin sighting. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this video and maybe learned something about Gotham. And if I missed any Easter eggs, or you have any comments about anything I said in this video, or anything you want to see in a future video, be sure to leave it in the comments below. Also, be sure to subscribe for all of our new videos coming out. For instance, Justin's going to be coming out with a review on Flash Episode 1. I'll be coming out with a review on Arrow Episode 1 really soon. And also, Justin and Dennis are going to be doing Constantine and The Walking Dead Season 5. So be ready for all of that. Subscribe for all that content. And from all of us here at Closet Nerds, have an awesome day. And watch Gotham next week, Monday, 8 p.m.